for Greg Irwin again. Could you just talk about what this would mean for the team as far as momentum, trying to, keep your shot at the championship and chase?
Just picture yourself working 60, 70, 100 hours a week, right? 40, 50 weeks out of the year, and coming up short, and watching these guys kick your butt every week and bask in the glory, and being able to walk in front of those guys at 6 o'clock every Monday morning, look them in the eye and tell them, hey, we'll go get them next week. And that's what you got to do. And, there's not many doubters on that team, and they'll do anything I ask them to do. Anybody in that company will do anything we ask them to do. They'll build us whatever we ask them to build us. And they'll come in here and they'll fight until they throw the checkered flag. And whether you're 5th, 10th, 12th, wherever you're at, there's really no quit in any of those guys that are with me and work around us in that 3M 16 shop. And it's going to be a lot easier tomorrow morning to stand in front of them, I can tell you that. Big momentum boost. Perfect time of the season.
Jim Undershaw, Observer. Greg, with your ability to be in contention for wins, particularly these last several weeks and today's victory, do you think, is it fair to say that the tools are available at Roush Fenway at this time for guys to make trips to victory lane? I mean, there was a lot of criticism early in the season about being behind and so forth.
Yeah, there is, and I'm surprised that there's not more focus on that now, because everybody's said, what's wrong with our cars, what's wrong with our race cars, and we've all complained that our race cars aren't what they need to be, and I don't think they're there yet. We're on the right track. I certainly feel like when I show up every week now that I probably have a car I can compete and win with, but we still got a little bit more work to do, and kind of one disappointing aspect of it, this suspension package, if you will, is Matt didn't run as well at Chicago as I anticipated him to run. The 99 ran really good, and I mean he ran decent, after he got a while, but it wasn't magic on his car for some reason. And I thought that he would be right there, and they're still fighting a little bit, but I thought that he would be better right off when we put the suspension package on, but they're working on it. They're figuring it out.
Tom Bowles, SIMFrontstretch.com. I wanted to go back to the two-tire thing because you were mentioning some of the races that you've lost during this winless streak, and kind of a running theme there. I took 4 tires and then I got beat, and I just wondered if you guys talked a little bit about Indy after that performance, and are you guys clean air guys now going forward? Have you almost had a change in philosophy, because you guys kind of came out swinging today with the 2 tires and clearly made a statement, clean air is what I want?
Well, I mean, I don't think that 2 tires or 4 tires are always going to be the case. It just depends on what racetrack you're at. If you're at Michigan, you're going to put 4 tires on. It just depends on the racetrack itself and the way it's shaped and how easy it is to pass and how hard it is to pass. And we really just wanted to get some track position. We knew that putting 2 on, we weren't going to get the lead, but we were going to jump ourselves from in the teens, up to the top 5. And then see how our car drove up there. And it didn't drive any different, and I lost those spots back. And but we kept working on it and got it going better. And at the end, I mean, it was a no-brainer to put 2 tires on. Our car had 6 laps on it. The tires had 6, I think it was 6 green flag laps, yes, or 4 green, and it didn't have a lot of laps on the tires. And I can't believe all those guys had 4 tires.
And it was an extended caution, too. That plays into it, right? The red flag there, and we're driving around, so the left sides are cooling down. The weather's cooling down, so you're gaining more and more benefit,
Yeah, I mean, yellow. I was really surprised that not more guys did 2 than what did. And there was a fair amount of them that did 2. But I'm surprised with some of those guys, the 24 and those guys doing 4. But they probably hadn't done 2 all day. That's the other thing. If you don't do 2 tires all day, you can't, you get to the end of the race, you can't just bolt 2 on because you don't know what it's going to do. So.
Like Indy.
Yeah.
We were.
Scott Walsh from the Scranton Times for Greg Biffle. Did you see anything with Elliott's crash, and does winning here change anything about your concerns or about the comments you made about the safety issues of Pocono?
Yeah, I didn't see Elliott's crash. You have to fill me in. Was it in the same area or the same zone that the bad crash was in last race here? Well, that's how the other crash, the big spring race, occurred. The 9 got down in that grass and then came across in front of the field. So, I mean, it's just, I didn't see what happened. It's dangerous to have grass next to where you're running 200 miles an hour. That's, that's all there is to it. And it's just the way it is. The way these racetracks have been built forever. This is a great racetrack. It's so much fun to drive. And, Talladega and Daytona had that same issue, and they added pavement, like a skid pad or whatever you want to call it. So when the car does get out of control or gets going that direction, you still have some control. Because once you hit the grass, especially with it wet, with it dry, it's going to make a little difference. You hit the grass wet, you're along for the ride. You're going to pick up speed, actually. It feels like you pick up speed when you get into the wet grass. So, they'll have to look at it. And I understand times are tough, and it's not always we get down. We might go half a dozen races and nobody ever gets in that grass ever. But this is 2 races in a row. Somebody's been over there playing around. Oh, I didn't hear that. Oh yeah, that's great. Yeah, we applaud the racetracks for doing safety stuff for us, and we understand that the times are tough, and they need to do fan items. We need to cater to the fans in the infield, whether it's concessions or bathrooms, and accommodate them and all that. But certainly we all appreciate 100% of them thinking of us on the racetrack and the safety of the drivers. Out there. There's not a we can never do too much, for safety, and we're blessed to have the things that have gone on in our sport have probably saved a lot of lives because of what we've done since then.
Bob Parker, Scene Daily. Greg, if there had been a caution with like 10 or 5 laps to go, do you think you would have been able to hold off the guys with 4 tires?
That's a good question. The lap times we're running, we were running pretty dang good lap times. And my car was driving really good. My car was driving so good. It would have been a shootout for sure. It would have been lane choice. Who got the jump on the start? Did we end up 3 wide? Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Last week, if I'd have won Ticket 2, would I have won? I don't know. So it would have been a shootout. I was ready for it though.
Okay, I think that'll
Thank
call
you,
it a
guys.
day. Congratulations.